Hello, it's Yahtzee here, and this is my best pal.
Shitty McFucknugget.
And we're
Are you
playing...
able to walk on the water?
Yes, because we're playing Proteus, which is an arty game. So arty, they forgot to put a game in it, but here it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna regret this, but what do you do in this?
You walk around the island and go, ooh, isn't it arty? I feel so fulfilled and calm. And I thought we needed something calm after we got on each other's nerves a bit last week.
Well, I wouldn't even refer to it as that. I mean, I wasn't angry, and
well, you were.
Your version of anger sounds like a, sort of grumpy drill sergeant from a children's panto.
Well, I did get a bit exasperated at you.
That's a funny sound you make when you get exasperated.
Because you were treating me like an idiot for disagreeing with you.
Yeah, but see, you do that whenever... Before we sit down and start these records, Yahtzee will usually just start haranguing me.
Well, I'm trying to get your energy out.
Yeah, see, this is what I mean. And you have to understand then, it blurs the line between... I can't tell whether you're actually responding to something or whether you're just trying to get a rise out of me for the sake of chuckles.
I'm not trying to get a rise. Look how calm I am. Oh, look at that tree. It's so retro-looking, and doesn't it make you feel so calm and nostalgic?
This and Oculus Rift with some, mellow, not hydro, would... probably be a fun way to spend the afternoon.
There's some mellow music you might not be hearing so well.
No, I can hear it. Okay, so what... Is this literally it? Like, you just walk around? Can you interact with anything?
Well, there's a little bit more to it, as we might discover as time goes on.
I figured there had to be...
Mostly it's just being calm... and calm.
You're not picking up anything? You don't interact? There's no cursor?
Well, sometimes you run into, animals. Not around here, though.
I get the feeling like you're holding something back. Like, there is a thing, but you're sort of waiting until we discover it.
Well, you might be right, but it'll take a while.
Alright, cool. No, that's okay, provided I know there's something coming, because otherwise it's going to start, just confusing me. I mean, it is...
Well, don't be confused and be calm. Don't be confused, be calm, man. Look how calm we all are.
No, but it's like, when someone starts telling one of those long jokes that you know is just a shaggy dog, and you're kind of just like, alright, I know where this is going. It's a bit like that. Like, when I know that there's a trick or something, I'm just like, alright, look, I get it. You don't have to do the build-up.
Yeah, speaking of last week, there were a lot of comments on that video.
I'm glad I don't read them anymore.
They were pretty divided down the middle. Some people were saying I should have punched you in your fat face. Actually, that made me laugh. I got a tweet from someone that I think he posted the first tweet after we'd watched, the first half of the video. He said... He said to me, Yahtzee, why do you always cut off Gabriel? Why don't you let him finish what he's saying? And then there was a second tweet, which presumably had been posted after we'd watched the rest of the video, which said, never mind, interrupt him as much as you like.
To random internet person I don't care about.
Because we had a basic falling out over the fact that I don't think it's possible to objectively say what a game of the year is, and Gabriel takes an opposite view.
No, I don't. See, the problem is Yahtzee does this thing where will use... sort of extremely literal interpretations of words as opposed to more context-sensitive interpretations of words. To give you a textbook example of this, one time we were discussing areas of study, and I was talking about how, I'm doing sort of education and history and English, but it was hard for me because I find everything interesting. Yahtzee took this to mean that I mean everything as in literally everything, and then proceeded to point to a point on the wall.
An animal.
That's an animal? Oh, alright, yeah, that's an animal.
Look, they're bouncing, look how calm we are. Oh, they're frolicking. It's springtime. Oh, go.
Does this cost money, this game?
Be free, my friends, be free.
Can you chase one into the water?
Well, let's see. Be free in this water. Okay, he's the ultimate freedom now. Godspeed.
Yeah, so my problem is, I don't want people, and it's happened a bit before, people have just on Twitter have just started sounding off me, what do I think? My opinion's massively relevant to what they're talking about. I don't want to talk with authority about things...
Maybe they don't want an authoritative voice, maybe they don't want some grand objective perspective.
People have.
Maybe they just want an insight into you.
And you do that. You also, you get by on authority. That's what popular critics do. You have to have a sense of authority. You have to have a reason why your opinion is more important than just any other random opinion.
I'd say an authority... When you say authority, a critic is still only an authority ultimately on his own opinion.
I think a lot of people don't understand that. Come on, dude, people gave you fucking hate mail for the way you reviewed the last Smash Brothers game.
Well, yeah. because
because again, does your opinion hurt their ability to enjoy the game?
I like to think maybe I was speaking to some repressed instinct they were trying to ignore.
But see, this is my problem. So I will talk with authority about shit I feel I can have authority on, but on the extremely subjective matters like this, then, I get a little bit less content about it.
I just didn't get why, because this goes back...
It was a semantic fucking... We had this conversation before we sat down.
This goes back to our Final Fight video when I asked you for a Game of the Year nomination. I didn't get why you'd say anything other than what your favourite game was, because that was what I wanted.
Well, yeah, see, they're different things to me.
Okay.
That's the thing.
You said Tomb Raider, and I took that to mean that Tomb Raider was the best game.
Oh, Jesus, shit, no.
Okay.
See, that's again, you've just demonstrated that. Like,
I think if most
the best game as opposed to my favorite game, you just did exactly what I've been worrying about.
For me, it's a clarity of communication thing. If most people go to someone and say, "What would you say was Game of the Year?" I would say most of them would take the answer as a recommendation. So I think just to avoid confusion.
I think the internet's built toward hostility these days, though. Like, websites will deliberately...
you're just getting what you put into it, man.
Oh, dude, come on. Websites don't put up, like, here's our Game of the Year to get, like, conversation and clicks.
Oh, I was almost getting riled a bit there, but look how calm I am now. So I'm going to climb to the top of that hill, and I'm not even going to shout, I'm just going to say hello to the morning breeze. But anyway, yes. So
yeah, we had a semantic difference, which...
Yes.
Resulted in what I want to call anger, but didn't really at the time recognize it as such.
Right. You were being a dick then.
You express anger like I imagine someone in a Barney costume does. Like, it just came through this weird layer of, like, repression, and I don't understand, like, really getting that angry about fucking anything.
I just hate when I feel like you're talking down to me, man.
You do that to me all the time, and I don't react, and that's what gets you. I've seen you do. You always try to, and that's again from when you do it to rile me up to get my energy up at the start of a record, which he does. Like, you don't hear the things. You'll just come and just like you'll just start nitpicking me.
I found a thing.
Huh. Actually, I'm kind of... this is a little interesting. Like, I'm not gonna say gripping, but I like the idea of wandering around and then you just stumble across, like, artifacts of perhaps a lost culture or something.
And yet, you didn't play Minecraft much.
Well, that was user-generated, wasn't it?
Well, so is this.
Wait, so...
Well, it's randomly generated, but I think there's always the circle of things and a couple of other features.
Oh, so it's completely randomly...
Yeah, the island's randomly generated.
Oh, that's a little less interesting. I was kind of hoping there'd be sort of a set.
Yeah, I don't see what your problem is with proc gen, man.
Well, I mean, I again, if you like it, it's great. I don't mind it in certain circumstances. I like the ability to feel like I've explored everything.
I'm going to stand next to this thing and watch the sun go down. I'm going to give it a name.
Berthold?
Charles.
We'll hyphenate it.
Look, Charles. It's the sun.
Can you walk through it? Is there clipping? What's the...
Yeah, there's clipping. Right. Clipping ahoy. Although you can walk up pretty much every slope and across water.
You can't fly, sort of, you can't just levitate?
Nope.
Alright.
I can walk a boot.
I think,
but anyway, now that we're such good chums again, let's move on. There are times when you annoy me. Well, there was another thing I wanted to air, actually, if you're willing. A couple of weeks back, we were talking about Six String Samurai, and I said I didn't like the editing.
Yeah.
And you immediately started mansplaining, saying, "Yeah, I need you to understand it was supposed to be like that."
Yeah.
And that annoyed me a little bit because I felt like you were talking down to me there. You assumed I didn't understand.
No, do you watch a lot of cult cinema?
I watch films. I'm entitled to an opinion.
I'm not saying you don't have an opinion. I'm just saying, like...
It was just the words you used. You didn't say, my opinion is. You didn't say, I think it's supposed to be like that. You were saying, I need you to understand that. I thought that was...
Well, no, because it does shape... It'd be like someone coming to Resident Evil 4 and complaining that Leon can't walk and shoot at the same time and saying that ruins the game. Like, not to that degree, obviously. I don't think it's an invalid thing to not like it. I just think that to think of that as a deficiency of that specific movie is mistaken.
Well, it got in the way of my enjoyment of the film.
Right. Yeah, and that's a valid personal opinion, but to extrapolate from that it was a fault.
It was not,
and like a sort of a fault with the film. I don't think is.
Well, it wasn't so much that as the way you were mansplaining about it.
Why do you keep saying mansplaining?
Because it's the perfect word. It's like assuming that someone thinks something because they haven't thought it through properly, so you just have to explain it to them harder.
Well, we just went through this. You don't watch... Do you watch a lot of cult cinema?
I watch cinema.
All right, see, that's... Now you're, like, man-voiding the, the question.
I think we're getting away from the man purpose of these videos.
Mantastic.
Let's go to a man topic.
Mantacular.
Actually,
Pac-Man?
something weird's happening. Do you see those?
Clouds?
See those lights?
Are you getting clouds?
No, the little lights moving along the ground.
Oh. Ah.
I'd better go and investigate in case they need calming down.
This is what I imagine how Miyazaki's dreams are like.
Go to those lights and say, hey, let's just be calm about all this, okay, guys?
Someone's summoning a spirit bomb.
What? Where are they going? I'm pretending I don't know. Oh.
The fuck?
That's it. They seem to have formed a circle. And as I move to the center of the circle, time seems to be going faster. What's going on? What would happen if I stand in the very center of the circle? Oh, no, I think I'm losing my calmness. No, I'm losing myself. Oh, it was just giving me a nice change of scene. Oh, I'm calm again now. Thank you, little birdies. Or dandelion seeds, whatever they are. Aren't you calm, Gabe?
I don't know, man. Your calm voice gives me the willies.
That's just you taking all the burdens of the world with you. Leave those burdens behind and join me in my calm little dungeon.
Drink my special calm drink.
Yes, attach these calm little manacles to your wrists and ankles.
Maybe that's just because I'm used to you being sort of like a grumbling, bitter individual that, any sense of actual gentle calmness from you just triggers my he's up to something,
I've
reflex.
left that person long behind. My new name is Blissful Harmony.
I am calling you that from now on.
Okay, I'm too calm now. I'm going to read aloud this quote from EA to piss myself off.
That'll do it.
What voice should I do for this?
Officious old lady from like a British DMV or something. Something along those lines. Okay, like a 50-year-old bureaucrat lady.
Officious old lady.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try and think about that.
Like a Vogon woman.
Yeah. Dungeon Keeper suffered from a few things, Jibbo told Games Industry. I think we might have innovated too much or tried some different things that people just weren't ready for. I don't think we did a particularly good job marketing it or talking to fans about their expectations for what Dungeon Keeper was going to be, or ultimately should be. Yes, it's the old Dungeon Keeper millstone around our necks. EA are trying to take responsibility for making it shit in the weaseliest possible way.
I love that because it completely ignores all the actual visible reaction. Like, you can find out why people didn't like it. And it wasn't like, I don't get it. It was like, you've jammed microtransactions up this fucker.
Yes.
Oh, that's like microtransactions aren't mentioned anywhere in there. He could have at least just said, "Oh, we think it's good and people liked it, so shut up." But the fact that he avoids it.
No, it's not that he avoids it. It's that he's sort of tacitly blaming the audience for.
No. But he's playing like
he's saying like it must have been a fault of the audience for not understanding our grand vision. I mean,
yeah, but he's playing like there was like the audience's problem with it was an artistic, like we didn't like the graphic style, and I was like, no, you're skipping the meat of the qualm. Like,
I saw like tweets from like 3 different people saying, "Could you stop being a Saturday morning cartoon villain just for 5 seconds, EA?"
I don't know. Somebody's got to be that. Someone's got to twirl a mustache. Hey.
Yeah. What?
Things like there was like a flock of I don't know what those were. To your right.
I'm so calm I don't even care.
Is there a cloud up here with you?
Yeah, the clouds are lying a bit low. But
I hear if you leave this on for
I'm
6
losing
hours.
my calmness. It's getting hard to see. Oh, that's better. Yep. So
you played this because of the mushroom conversation last week, didn't you?
No, actually, I just wanted to play something calm.
Oh, you should take mushrooms. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Oh, if you look at the sun, you get a little bit blinded, but not all the way, because that wouldn't be calm.
No major retinal damage in the world of calm.
I'm the king of the mountains. Look, Simba, all that the light touches shall be yours. Except for the place where the hyenas hang out. Fuck those guys.
We are completely racist toward hyenas. They're filthy, they smell bad, and they're not to be trusted. They're not hard workers like us lions.
Hey, seaweed, you're supposed to be on the bottom of the ocean. Dumbasses.
You're that sneaky landweed.
And even EA being evil couldn't make me less calm at all this.
See, the thing is, I don't even think that's evil. I think it's just comical at this point. Like, that's what I mean. It's like Saturday morning cartoon villains aren't scary. They're comical.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't like Saw or some shit. He's just, at this point, just becoming a better parody of himself than even the parodies could manage, which...
Well, I'd feel better about it if EA were failing like Nintendo was. I'd be able to go, ha 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 ha.
Who cares?
But they're still making huge amounts of money.
Yeah, but I mean, huge amounts of money, like... Have you seen that? Have you seen, like, Epic Movie and Date Movie and shit?
Well...
Like, those things, like...
Well, it's hard to claim any kind of moral victory if they still make the money.
Well, you're not gonna... Like, that's... Well, you can claim a moral victory. If they were going broke, that's an actual victory.
Well, it's just... Well, at that point, you can't even blame the films for anything.
No, it's the
all you
viewers.
can say is human beings are shit, and that's much more depressing.
Well, just mostly a bit dim is probably the worst. Like,
I was reading a convincing article this week that said, everyone just stop pre-ordering things, because that doesn't benefit you at all. I mean, I can't remember the last time I went into a game shop on launch day and found that they were sold out.
I can't remember the last time I went to a game shop on a launch day.
Well, I do it for my job, obviously.
Yeah,
But people don't pre-order so much that you need to do so, or you won't get a copy on launch day.
Well,
I've found.
I
have found, weirdly, that has happened once or twice with DS games, and nothing else.
Huh. Which ones?
Well, it happened with I think it was the new Mario and Luigi RPG on launch day. I was like, oh, that looks good, I should look out for that, but it was all gone.
Yeah. I don't know, game stores in Brisbane, man, I've had them like, yeah, we only got 4 copies in and they all sold out. It's like, okay. So, I don't know, maybe you come across one of those ones. I don't know, see,
I went to a few shops.
Timeliness is the only thing that they can really put money on these days, because it's like with, I don't buy games when they first come out, I wait, and then they're like half price on Steam.
Chase the chickens.
Like, I got, a year after it came out, I got all of the Tomb Raiders for like $18, like including the new one, and I think, Far Cry 3 for like $9. And that was a year after it came out. Like, a year is not a long time to wait for, a big game like that, I think.
Well, it is for someone who does game reviews.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're obviously not, representative of the entire population in terms of game purchasing because of your, profession. And
well, I guess not.
And that's what I mean, though. Like, they have to monetize the timeliness of it, so they have to make you want to get it. You have to pre-order. You got to pre-order, because if you don't, it will be valueless within a year. Like, the games lose value like that, so they have to make you pre-order, because where they get most of their fucking money.
These must be mountain chickens.
Mount chickens.
Yeah, pre-ordering makes the least sense of all in the age of digital distribution, doesn't it?
It's weird.
And yeah, it's like hype. It doesn't benefit you at all to buy into it. It only benefits the evil publishers.
Well, then,
I mean, Watch Dogs, as we were saying, was like the most pre-ordered game in, like, new IP game in history.
The hype train on that was batshit.
And then everyone played it and then went like, oh, this is shit.
I didn't get that this is shit so much, but people on Facebook were like, yeah, it's not that good. And I'm like, man, go back 6 months. You were like gushing over the E3 footage.
Well, immediately after the release, people don't let fly immediately because they're still in the phase where they're trying to convince themselves they made a wise purchase. Give it a few months and then we'll all...
I've already seen some.
There'll be a much more universal feel of, yeah, that was lame.
And I think this is a good way to come to games as well, like, to not be an early adopter. I mean, A, it saves you a lot of money, and B, you can just sit down and enjoy a fucking game without the hullabaloo that goes on around it.
I was just thinking that the central paradox of the critic is that, as we were discussing earlier, how you use critics is you find one whose opinions line up with yours, and you trust their judgment on new games.
So basically, they become a vicarious validation of your judgment.
Yes, but by definition, as you were saying, the critic has to play everything, and their perspective is slightly skewed for that. Most people don't have to play everything. A lot of people will find fun in a game just because it's the only game they've got. I mean,
like you and your Commodore 64 things.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting how you have to find a critic whose views are representative of yours, but by their very nature, a critic's views might only be representative of critics.
The problem is also, like, for me, never trust my review of a strategy game or, like, one of real-time strategy. Because
no.
I don't understand the games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing. Your reviews of fighting games, meaningless.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't do them anymore.
Yeah,
isn't it?
well, I mean, it's fun to do occasionally just to have. I mean, and Mortal Kombat was a good choice because it has a story mode that's fucking batshit.
Yeah, and I think there's important things I needed to say about Mortal Kombat. Like, despite being massively gory, it is a game for 12-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, there's violence and there's B-violence.
Hey, sun's going down again. Do you think that thing is going to happen again?
The spirit bomb?
Yes.
What happens? Like, can you stand in it a lot? Is this all that really happens? Like, nothing's about to occur at any point? Like, I've got this, like, sort of tension in the back of my mind, like, at any minute something's gonna happen.
Well, the game does have an end. I'll say that much.
Okay. So I'm guessing it'll go from, like, island to island or time zone to time zone. Is it changing times?
I think it's always the same island, but yeah, different times.
Because there weren't as many... There's more animals in this one.
It's an arty game. You're supposed to be, like, interpreting it.
Yeah.
It's probably like a metaphor for life or some bollocks like that.
Blah, blah, blah. Cycle of life. Blah, blah, blah. Meaninglessness of it all. Blah,
I'm
blah,
gonna
blah. Art.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say the next time zone will be autumn, and the one after it will be winter.
Ah.
But
summer lovin', having a blast.
There's the weird white particles in the air.
Come to me, particles.
Take me back with you, mysterious white lights. I'm bored of this colour scheme.
Need to see something different.
So yes, EA are twats, but then we all knew that.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's. But again, I think the comic, the Saturday morning cartoon villain, where it's just. You know when people get like that kind of bubble thing going?
I remember when Jack Thompson was a thing, and I think it was
yeah.
the evil lawyer guy.
I'm fucking around.
I remember hearing I think it was one of the Penny Arcade guys saying we should be grateful for Jack Thompson because if he went away, someone actually competent might be the main voice against video games.
I think if you're going to be making the arguments that he was making, you are almost never going to be competent because they're not competent arguments to make.
We found the little biscuit circle again.
Biscuits!
Oh,
I mean, there's only so much you can make up about...
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah. Do the constellations change? What's with
the sky just rotates around, I think.
Okay. Oh, the big cluster in the sky. If that was, like, new, or what happened there?
Wee! I could watch this. I could just watch this, actually. Look at that spider. Oh, wait, that's the sun.
It's a fat-ass spider.
Nah, fuck it.
Yeah, let's just...
So, we didn't have much else to talk about. It's being the summer games lull, or winter games lull in Australia. Oh, hey, this isn't very autumnal. If anything, this is less autumnal than the last colour scheme.
Do you think maybe it goes through, like, faint shade? This could be winter.
I couldn't even guess.
Blue trees?
I'm not sure that it's winter. I mean, there's still leaves on the trees.
Maybe this place operates on a whole different set of seasons. Maybe there's like 8.
Oh, maybe we're on another planet.
Yeah.
It's like No Man's Sky or something.
This season's called David. Those look like mushrooms. Those must be mushrooms.
Then I would better eat them.
Yeah, yes.
Always
eat all fungus you see. No bad can come of that.
Grom. There, I can't see the mushrooms anymore, therefore we ate them.
We interacted with the landscape.
So we had another bit of intel. That was Smash Brothers is announcing a new character on Monday. Oh, crickets.
Ah.
Smash Brothers announcing a new character on Monday. They've already announced Pac-Man. And I think Mii's are going to be a character.
Are in them, yeah, you can, which is, cute.
So I guess Senor Cock-on-Face is going to go all the way to the top, baby.
I do love just... Because that was the first thought. It's like, hey, Nintendo, we're not going to let you touch anybody on the internet because it's full of scary lunatics. And as much as their version of online was, like, just a bad idea, they were right. Like, the internet's just full of horrible fucking jerks.
Well, that's what you have to put up with.
Yeah,
when you allow everything.
That's the thing. Like, internet jokes are so easy to block out and ignore.
Did you hear about the 4chan and Tumblr raid that happened recently?
There's a recent one. I knew about the
Well-
Air one from ages ago, but
Well, Tumblr, the most easily offended website on the planet, decided, oh, 4chan, it's just full of monsters. We'd better go over there and tell them not to be such jerks, and then they'll have learned their lesson. And 4chan being the most offensive website on the internet. And so they did that. They did a sort of half-hearted raid, and then 4chan raided them straight back. Sending them a load of pictures of gore and porn, and putting them on all the tags that are most popular, like Doctor Who and Sherlock and stuff. And then Tumblr started yelling about how 4chan was harassing them.
that's exactly what they want.
There was some...
This is what I mean, like, in my day, bullies came over and hit you. You couldn't ignore that. Someone trying to annoy me on the fucking internet who isn't even part of my social circle? Great!
I mean...
That's the best, that's hilarious. That makes my afternoon, gives me something to do.
I mean, all the Tumblr tards were talking about how 4chan was posting stuff that were triggering them, and they were having suicidal thoughts and going to have to cut themselves because of a picture they saw.
If that's all it takes, you need to go get actual treatment that's not on the fucking internet.
It's like going to the school bully and saying, don't tickle me because I'll piss myself.
Yeah. Also, I've taken up ballet, and my parents are getting divorced, and I have this giant pimple.
Hey, why are you tickling me? I just said if you tickle me, you'll trigger my piss reflex.
Well, I mean, it's the old thing of, like, in Brisbane you can go and want to sit at a bus stop, and every now and then there's just a fucking crazy guy there. And maybe this crazy guy is, like, looking around, like, he's covered in feces, and he just wants to hug somebody. Should I have the right to sit at the bus stop? Yes, I should have the right. But circumstances beyond my control force a circumstance where the only way to avoid getting covered in shit is to stand up. And that's what you have to fucking do sometimes in a world where you live with other people. And literally, it's so easy to just, they're gonna post shit to tags, ignore those tags. They'll get bored, they'll go find something else. If you ignore 4chan, eventually they go away because they need the response.
This is why rule 1 of the internet is don't reply to trolls.
Yeah, don't feel, because that's literally what they want. Yeah,
replies
any reply.
all they want.
Yeah.
You reply to trolls, I don't know why.
Fun. Because, I engage in it for shits and giggles, because they any goal they have, they're not getting from me, you see. They want, to anger me or some shit. I'm not replying like that.
All they want's the response, and that's
yeah,
what
but see, I can do it to the point where I enjoy it, and then if I get bored, I just stop. I just ignore them then after that.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah. Again, what are they going to do? Clog up my fucking Twitter feed? I don't fucking care. I don't just scroll by it. It has no effect on me.
But anyway, what are your predictions for the new Smash Brothers character, Like We Care?
Let's see. I wonder if it'll be another classic. See, I like Smash Brothers for fan service purposes, but the gameplay is.
Well, I have to understand they're not gonna be able to rely on classic characters forever. There's a limited amount of those. Well, we read this article on The Escapist, and there was a bit of editorializing on the article saying that their money was on Bayonetta, and I stand by my position that is never gonna fucking happen.
I think it's an easy fit. I understand why you think it isn't, but I think that she's easily enough toned down. Like, her big hair attacks are easy enough to replicate.
Yes, and did you ever notice that when the big hair attack happened, all her clothes disappeared?
That's probably an easy enough thing to make not happen. She could probably just keep her clothes on.
I don't think you could get away with it. I think it's a part of... I think her character is too inherently sexual.
I don't know,
Even just looking at her, she's got her tits out and it's got a big bum.
They'll probably she can be made PG relatively simply.
I don't agree.
I mean,
her basic attacks...
Zero Suit Samus is pretty sexy.
Her basic attacks are stripping naked and putting monsters into sexualized torture machines.
Which they'll probably just not put in.
And Zero Suit Samus...
That's what I mean, you're wearing...
Zero Suit Samus isn't the same, because Samus is kind of a bewildered by their own sexuality sort of character.
Like Ryu. Someone who's just so badass that just...
I mean, they have no sexual intention in their manner, even when they're wearing a skin-tight outfit.
They just
you
don't
cannot
understand.
say the same about Bayonetta.
Oh, Lord, no. No, but I mean, again, I maintain that things like this can just be toned down. They'll slap the game in there, they'll slap her in there if they're gonna do it. I don't really care either way. I mean, I bet they probably aren't, but I think if there was an argument for a left field character to just pop in, I'd say, yeah, probably Bayonetta.
I really don't. I think it would be a bad idea, if nothing else. Because you might get all the kids saying, "Oh, what's this game? I should play it. I should play it and see and get some background on this character."
Google the Bayonetta. Well, how did that game end again? Like killing God inside a meteor with boobs?
In a really excessive way. Yes. But then that's Japanese games for you.
I love it when the Japanese get a hold of like Western Christianity and sort of
name a Japanese game that doesn't end with killing God in some way or another.
That was a huge fad for like 10 years. But it's great. It's always like Japanese interpretations of Abrahamic faith traditions are just fucking always entertaining.
I think it's just they're using Abrahamic like names and figures and plopping them onto the usual template.
Yeah, it's funny to me. Like El Shaddai was a mostly blah game, but it was interesting to see. Again, that kind of baffling sort of crazy anime take on.
I think there are better ways to raise the stakes than just saying, "Hey, you gotta kill God now. He's got the highest power level."
How do you know he's God? He's the highest HP. Duh.
I mean, you compare that to how you raise the stakes in something like Game of Thrones, was just like really elegant. It's almost like the sledgehammer versus the switchblade. Just like a little poke here and there, and suddenly everything falls apart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I probably appreciate the sort of Game of Thrones style a little more, but there are times when a sledgehammer's fun.
Game of Thrones is me, and anime killing god plots is one of those screamy internet reviewers who just swear and scream at the top of their voices.
Cunt! Ah, fuck cunt!
The
Bumble shitty fuck!
The smashing sledgehammer versus the cutting blade. That's how I like to think of it.
Yeah, that's...
If you like the smashing sledgehammer, go nuts. I mean, I like bottom. I can't judge.
Bottom is fairly sledgehammer.
I think the little particles are
sledgehammer smeared with poo. That somehow gets stuck up Rick's bum.
Yep.
Again.
Still better at feigning violence than professional wrestling.
Depends.
Oh, whatevs.
I see some Japanese extreme wrestling where they like jam a whippersnipper into each other and shit.
Yeah. You like professional wrestling, that's your thing.
Oh, I like loads of dumb shit. This is what I mean. Like I have my reasons for it. If you want to hear them, that's fine. But
I'd rather not.
It's fun.
So they introduced Pac-Man as a character, didn't they?
Yeah, but like Pac-Man with arms and legs.
Yeah, that's what baffles me. I mean, list the usual attacks Pac-Man has had throughout his existence. Eat something. Well, that's it.
Well, he had like weird second. There was an arcade like Pac-Man, like a more sort of 16-bit, 8-bit arcade game
There was what was it called? I think it might have just been like Pac-Man 2.
Yeah.
Or it made into this weird sort of adventure game. It was a little bit Wonder Project J-ish.
Yeah, it was actually really weird, because you sort of only just directly controlled him.
Did you ever play Wonder Project J?
It's
a really weird game on the SNES, Japanese, Natch.
I remember there was one for the 64 as well.
Are you sure?
Yeah, there was a sequel for it.
See, I hadn't heard that. I'm not sure you were thinking of the same thing. But
no, it's one where you like pilot, where you have to like raise a young android girl or something.
Boy. Well, I can see your confusion.
No, yeah. Wonder Project J... I'll look it up. I'm sure Wonder Project J2 is a thing.
Well, I was familiar with the SNES one. That's just where you don't directly control the character. You just sort of put things in his path and train him. So when he does the right thing, you give him a biscuit. When he does the wrong thing, you give him a smack. It's just about training him to do the right response so they can get through a specific sequence
yeah, Wonder
of
Project J2. Raise a girl. On the Nintendo 64, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I only need the SNES one. Hush my mouth.
Well, I mean, why would these be released outside of Japan?
Well,
in that era. I mean, these days you can probably release
someone translated it to English and...
Weeaboos! Weeaboos!
Quite.
God bless them.
I was wondering what the origin of the word weeaboo was.
See, I've heard earlier versions of it that just had nothing to do with this, so I think the recent...
Well, I did look this up after I got curious.
Okay, well, off you go.
Apparently there was some board that coined the term Wapanese to mean white Japanese.
Fair enough.
In the same context as Wigger to mean white nigger.
Fair enough.
Like, the white boys are really into rap, but in this case, white boys are really into Japanese culture and want to be Japanese and think it's the best existence ever.
See, being really into Japanese culture is one thing. Thinking it's a bit like wanting to be Japanese and thinking it's the best existence ever, that's getting onto peculiar territory. Like, I love rap, but,
The point is that on this specific board, they started, just for a laugh, they started doing automatic find replaces to swap the word Wapanese with the word weeaboo, which was a nonsense word that was in a Perry Bible Fellowship comic, if you're familiar with
so that is
comic.
where it comes from.
Well, yeah, this is how it became. This is how it came to mean. Wackabees.
Yeah, well, no, I just my first exposure to the word weeaboo was,
Well, yeah, it was
the
in
game
that
of
comic.
weeaboo.
Did somebody say weeaboo?
Yeah.
Because I think somebody said weeaboo.
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 I'm gonna try and get that game started up at the bar again.
I think you might have a hard time getting people insecure in their heterosexuality to get involved in it.
Well, screw those people.
Because it involves spanking a fellow.
I mean, maybe not screw them, but
Found the circle again. Are you ready for a blast into the future?
time vortex.
At least I assume it's the future. It could be going backwards for all I know.
If you see a dinosaur, we've been going backwards.
Whey! Look at that moon. I feel like Rod Taylor in the 1960s film version of The Time Machine, obviously.
I figured it was either Time Machine or did you ever see
He was very gung-ho in that film.
It really was. Did you ever see the movie Time After Time? I think it's Time After Time.
I know of it. That's the one where H.G. Wells fights Jack the Ripper, right?
Yeah, because the time machine is real, and Jack the Ripper
course.
steals it and goes to the future, and H.G. Wells has to chase him.
There seems to be this...
Great.
This,
One of my favorite movies as a kid.
Oh. Well, I think this is wintry now.
Or hell.
It's all gone quiet as well. Dead trees... Clouds covering the skies. Yeah, I'm not so calm anymore. I'm a little bit cautious. I feel like I'm going to turn a corner and I'm going to run into Dante and Virgil entering the first circle. Hey. Watch out for that lust storm. Now I think Dante Alighieri was
storms were a real thing.
I think Dante Alighieri was pulling stuff out of his arse.
He literally was.
Well, he obviously was, but I think he was coming up with what he thought was cool first and then try to explain it afterwards. I'd say, wind for lust because it represents the turmoil lust places your soul into.
He liked being farted on. Let's not jump about.
Let's not beat around the bush. Yes.
He was a fart boy, which is cool, if that floats your boat, float it.
So I couldn't guess what the new Smash Brothers character is going to be.
I don't know,
maybe
it's interesting because Smash Brothers shows up at fighting tournaments because it's technically a fighting game.
Maybe it'll be Paper Mario.
I think didn't they already do that one once?
No, I've never been in a Smash Brothers.
Huh.
But they did it.
There was super ironic and point out how
there was. I think it was Smash Brothers Melee where Mario and Dr. Mario were separate characters. So there's precedent.
Fighting game reskins, an honorable tradition.
I mean, they already said they were going to put Princess Rosalina in it, which is apparently their go-to character for new Mario canon now, apparently. Because they put her as the unlockable character in Super Mario 3D World as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Oh, hey, these trees have got leaves on.
They should dig back into the Mario 2 stuff again.
These must be the evergreens, or ever khakis.
Ever beige.
Ever brown.
Like, the rat. The rat that threw bombs.
And,
what was his name?
And the king lizard that was legally different to the other king lizard that Mario generally fights.
Yeah. Wasn't he named King Toad as well?
No, I think it was called something like Wart or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Wart.
Has Toad ever been a character in Smash Brothers?
No. I think Princess Peach, one of her, it was either her attack or it was her generic block, where she just pulls Toad out and holds him in the way. And that'll be fine, but Toad's struggling. So it's just like, that's weird.
Give your life, your emperor. No!
I don't. Shut up. You will taste my food. So many people want to kill me. I run an absolute monarchy. Nobody else has rights, except me and my courtesan.
Well, I guess
if we go... Is there a different one for them?
Just trying to think
look that up. Male courtesan.
What, you're like a gigolo?
Well, if you're the one... Like, I know technically there are, like, the ladies that aren't in the harem but hang out.
Yeah, we know there's a difference between courtesan and raggedy-assed whore. I mean, there's gigolo and rent boy, I'd say.
Yeah, they're different.
Yeah.
Well, gigolos are in charge of themselves.
Yes. Like courtesans are?
And it's hard to tell in, like, an absolute monarchy.
Well,
really,
prostitution in countries where there is legal prostitution, there tends to be self-employed and all that.
Yeah, well, there's brothels, and
I was talking to someone whose job was to do the books for a brothel the other day.
Oh, cool.
It seemed like a really interesting job.
Isn't it just accounting?
Yeah, but they also take care of the hiring and firing and all that administrative sort of stuff.
Oh, so they managed a brothel. They weren't just the accountant for a brothel.
I wasn't sure, actually. I mean,
well, if they're hiring and firing,
they worked for some kind of business consultancy thing, and their client was a brothel.
How do you decide?
I don't know the full details.
Well, I am curious. Because again, doing the books, that's just an accountant. That's your job. You're an accountant, and whoever you do the books for is fairly irrelevant. But if you're doing hiring and firing,
I remember them specifically mentioning hiring and firing. Yes.
Huh. The job interview has to involve sex. How do you know otherwise? They might look pretty and just be shit at it.
Well, how they explain it to me is that it's like strip clubs, and the dancer rents the stage. It's like a self-ownership thing. So the prostitutes all work for themselves.
Yeah,
they rent the rooms themselves. They just have their own clients, and it's all done through them. And the brothel just
keeps things safe.
Yeah, keeps track of things, keeps it together.
Which is good.
So it's down to individual, girls and what their personal practices are.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking with way too much authority on prostitutes. I should probably stop.
Oh, dude, you should probably see more prostitutes.
I've never hired a prostitute. Have you? I just want to be clear on this.
Okay, so here's the story.
Oh, God, you've hired a prostitute.
No, I haven't. That's the difference. It's because my conversation with a mutual friend of ours, always went like this. I'm not going to the brothel unless there's cocaine involved, because coke and hookers, they're just the two things that go together. And then one time, he'd gotten a 10 grand bonus and just came over with a bunch of cocaine and said, "We're going to the brothel." And then I was like, And then I had a bunch of cocaine and it was like, that sounds like a brilliant idea. And so I went to the brothel. And the lady was really nice. And fun fact, I recommend you say at the start that it's sometimes difficult for girls to make you orgasm, because that gets their professional goddamn pride. Their job is getting dudes off. So if you go I might be a bit tricky, they crack the knuckles and are like, all right, I'll show you.
So you got a wristy then?
No, the full deal.
So you did hire a prostitute then?
Well, I didn't pay, so I don't think I hired a prostitute.
That was not the thrust of my question.
Oh, okay. No, I've fucked a prostitute, yeah.
You have employed a prostitute?
Yes. Well, again, I think the qualifier is I didn't pay. That's an important fact. And I was pretty coked to the gills. But that was fun. That was a fun evening back when I did that kind of...
Well, it's good to know you're not... you like talking from both sides of the argument.
Well, again, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think legal prostitution is really good and really important, and I'd prefer that than... again, what's the big fucking deal? You can film it and sell it, but you can't fuck someone and not film it? It's demented.
Is it me, or am I taller than I used to be?
I think you're floating.
Well, not now, I'm not.
Alright, everything's gone peculiar.
Yeah.
And again, I think it has a rather unfair stigma attached to it. And I mean, you've got money and spare time. Honestly, if I was in your position, I'd probably,
Well, as we've discussed,
I know you prefer a degree of companionship.
I like the emotion part.
You'd be surprised though, because when you're just talking to a person who...
Actually, that's something else that lady I was talking to told me about, that there is such a thing as the girlfriend experience that some prostitutes specialize in.
And I had a fair long conversation with mine.
I think I'm definitely ascending.
Huh. What the?
I'm ascending. It really is a metaphor for life.
Oh.
I'm going to ascend to the top, and then I'm suddenly going to fall to the ground and smash my head open on a rock. Because that's life.
That's what you get for flying too close to the clouds.
It would only be exactly like life if on the way down I was also whipped by 15 little devils. Okay, entering the cloud layer now. So, we didn't have much to talk about this week because it is the Summer Games lull, but I was thinking maybe we should introduce a new thing.
Oh, Jesus, what?
Well, I was just thinking that...
Why are you taking off your pants?
For these occasions when we do run out of questions, perhaps we could introduce a sort of Q&A section.
The sun's hit a building exactly opposite me and it's just going straight into my eyeball.
I get no direct sunlight in this flat, but it does occasionally reflect off opposite buildings. So it's always passing. Just live with it.
I can't lean forward because the microphone's pointed at me and everything.
So I was going to say, if you got a question you'd like Ryan Gabriel's opinion on, maybe stay away from the boring questions I'm always asked. Ask us things like what's our favourite biscuit, or if we could have a superpower, what would it be? Those sorts of questions.
What's your favourite biscuit?
Bourbons.
Are those a British one? Because I'm
chocolate bourbons.
Okay,
what are Bourbons?
Bourbons.
Chocolate Bourbons.
Okay, what are they?
They're like a sandwich biscuit. We have 2 biscuits with a layer of chocolate filling.
Oh, right. So a little bit like a Tim Tam, maybe.
Yeah, but not coated in chocolate.
Okay, see, I mean, stereotypical as it may be, I fucking love a Tim Tam.
Yeah, I almost said Jaffa cake, but that's not a biscuit.
What's your definition?
Well, the official definition. Yeah. This was officially decreed by the courts that the Jaffa cake is a cake.
That's... I love... Yes.
No,
I love that the UK courts were like, okay, look.
It was an actual case because...
I'm not downing you, I just think it's adorable.
Because chocolate-covered biscuits were classified as a luxury item that you had to pay VAT on, whereas biscuits and cakes were not. So they were going to charge Jaffa Cakes VAT as a chocolate-covered biscuits, and McVitie's appealed and made the case that it's not a biscuit, it's a cake. And their case was that a cake goes hard when it's stale, and a biscuit goes soft when it's stale. And they demonstrated that the Jaffa Cakes go hard when they're stale, and so the courts agreed, can't argue with that, and decreed that Jaffa Cakes would forevermore be cakes.
I love when shit like that happens. Like I love that. It was like when the X-Men figurines were getting imported into the States, and they found a way of, like, because they said mutants aren't technically human, so they got away with some weird, like there was like a weird tax where you had to pay more for like human figurines.
I'm on a tree.
I love that. I love that they had to just, okay, and they had a reason. It wasn't just like some bizarre thing where they...
Yeah, you got to figure this stuff out, and the courts is where most of it happens.
Yeah. Well, you know,
so yeah,
it has to be done.
If you got questions, type them in the comments, and me and Gabe will both pick 1 or 2. And
maybe tweet them to us, because I hate reading the comments, generally.
Well, I use my Twitter for lots of things besides this.
Oh, okay. See, I use my Twitter for, like, literally nothing, but just dicking around.
So tweet them to Gabriel if you like. Or post them in the comments, and maybe I'll see them as I do the usual once-over. Tell you what.
And to see the shit fights that have erupted.
Tell you what, aside from the debate regarding subjectivity and objectivity in the game of the
I'm glad that it was down the line.
Well, besides that, there were a couple of comments regarding gun control from some very well level-headed sounding individuals.
Yeah, of course there were.
I got like tweets from people. I got tweets from people saying things. Actually, I think I might have made a gun control comment in this week's Zero Punctuation as well. But I think I made the point that conservatives have shot down all gun control, and now they're surprised why no one wants to take revenge for 9/11 anymore, because everyone's kind of been jaded to massacres.
Well, yeah. I remember when the first one happened, we were all shocked.
I got messages from people saying, if you don't like guns, stay away from our fucking country. And I'm like, what? Way ahead of you, crazy American man.
Way to be exactly the stereotype that we're talking. You can't even, like, just pause that for a second. You fucking moron.
I think I'm about to die in the vacuum of space.
Well, you know, you had a good run. You saw some bunnies.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, that's the thing. This shit happens.
I'm being asphyxiated. The big black blocky eyelids of death. Dead.
So that's really it?
Yeah, that's it. This is Proteus by Ed Key and David Kanaga. Was kind of hoping it would take a bit longer than that.
How long have we got?
Oh, shit. It only took us up to 50 minutes.
Shit. We got like 20 minutes.
Shit. Better start again.
Oh, fuck.
Let's hope it doesn't crash like it sometimes does.
If it does, we should just, like, play another emergency backup game.
Oh, no, you're fine. Yay! I'm calm again.
Wander around the ocean, see what's out there.
I'm still alive. I'm not dead this time. Yeah, alright. I'll just walk away from the island and see what happens.
Why bother having an end, really? Like, what's the point?
It's a metaphor. It's art. It's life.
I know there's that, but
it's yeah.
You know, video games require a degree of active engagement beyond most other forms of art.
I would argue that you'd need to have a bit of game before it can be a video game, but sure, whatever.
What would this categorize under then? Video art, possibly?
Well, you know, I've always thought game is the wrong word for a lot of what video games these days.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
Interactive experiences.
Interactive experience, yeah, I suppose if you're gonna...
Because Roger Ebert made the case that I agree with, that a game can't be art, because a game is something that you win. But, you know, with a lot of video games these days, like
It's
winning
gone beyond that for a long...
Yeah, I mean, it's the process of getting to the point of winning more than the winning itself.
Also, I mean, early games you couldn't win; they just restart. Like, there was no winning. Winning.
I did get another tweet from a slightly more level-headed gun-liking person.
Oh, slightly great.
Who said, send me like your phone or Skype and I will convince you on gun control in 5 minutes. And I was like, that still sounds a little bit confrontational. And you know what it made me wonder is, I do not live under American law.
No.
I have no power over American law.
No.
So why do you all feel so threatened by my opinions on this?
Well, the hilarious thing that I find is they talk about wanting to keep guns on them to keep the government from, overpowering them. And yet the one way the NRA is most powerful is via lobbying.
Yeah, I mean, you guys...
they exercise peaceful political power and have absolute control. They can't fucking approach your goddamn pistols, you lunatics, because of fucking democracy.
Yeah, and really, I'm not...
And what are you going to do when the army shows up?
And I've got no agenda against guns. I mean, that's what the weird, confrontational tweets are weird. I've got nothing against guns. I've fired a gun in a range. It was fun. I'd do it again. But
your culture is sick and weird.
It's not a politicized issue anywhere else in the world. That's what you need to understand. I mean, I've lived in 2 countries that had strong gun restrictions, and they're both fine. And I've never heard anyone say, you know what would really improve things? More guns.
Yeah,
people just don't bring it up.
Yeah,
people don't think of it,
and we don't have a lot of gun massacres.
No,
I remember because so. When I was in high school, I decided for a creative writing project assignment that I had to do for English to cheat and basically rip off the wonderful movie If. The
Malcolm McDowell film.
The Malcolm McDowell film. That is a great movie and has a fantastic soundtrack.
Okay.
And the movie ends, because, it was one of those private British schools that did, cadets and shit.
This was your idea, you asshole. I don't know where anything is now.
Awesome. And it ends in them shooting up the school with the cadet stuff.
Yeah.
So I stole that idea, and I wrote that. And I wrote that 3 weeks before Columbine.
Nice.
Yeah. No, not nice. Because then I knew what was going to happen. The second I saw this, I'm just like, uh-oh.
Did a school counselor call you in for a very important discussion?
Yes. That's not even a word of a lie. And the best part was the way they were trying to, feel me out and work out whether or not I was, really going to go nutso or whether, and I'm like, I plagiarized the idea of the fucking story. So I didn't want to exactly say I just straight up stole it. But then the counselor was like, whatever you say stays in here. And I'm like, oh, good. Because I just basically stole it from this. And I neither have access to guns nor really the will to go through with something like this.
So don't try to convince us on guns, because we don't care and we're no threat to you.
And there are other problems in the States that contribute to this beyond just the existence of guns. But
on the other hand,
the attitude toward guns is just so weird.
And I would think you would relish an outsider's perspective, because that's the only chance you're going to get an unbiased one. And to my mind, when I listen...
Or at least just an alternate one.
When I listen to gun advocates, I'm always... So, I've spoken to some very level-headed ones that I got on very well with, that I quite liked as people. And I'm not begrudging them anything. And, I don't know the full story. I never lived in America. Maybe it is more dangerous. Maybe that's because of all the guns. I don't know. But
I'd probably be... If I lived in the States, I'd probably be paranoid enough to carry one just because...
Yeah, when I listen to gun advocates, they always seem to be arguing the same way religious fundamentalists do, in that they don't look at all the facts and then draw a conclusion that supports them all. They seem to be starting from the conclusion then looking for facts to support it. Like the religious guy says, I want to believe that God exists and the Bible's real, so I look for facts that support that. And the guns people seem to start from a position of, I want to have a gun, and then look for things to support that.
Well, then, honestly, I genuinely believe that control method, any sort of control measures for the States just generally won't work because they already have almost total saturation. You could get rid of them in Australia. That's we cut down on the amount of handguns and shit that we had just run milling about. I don't think that's fucking feasible in the States. I don't think that's why I think gun control measures in the States won't work, because it's all done at a state, generally an interstate level.
Well, one thing I don't get is why the gun lobbyists are so against even the slightest amount of gun control. Even a background check to make sure you're not on 5 different meds and got restraining orders and your house is full of diaries that just say "kill the bitch" over and over and over again. Just that that. Just to make sure you're not one of those before letting you have a gun. I don't understand why you'd object to that.
There's a lot of other things. You know.
Well, I have heard an argument in this regard. People saying that they're saying that they're making the case that it's a slippery slope. And if the government actually want to ban guns totally, and if you let them have a little bit of gun control, they'll just go all the way. It'll be the slippery slope, which I think is bullshit, because that's like saying banning heroin is the first step in banning alcohol or something.
There are people like that, but again, you know, you're in a representative democracy.
Well, I've already probably sparked the argument.
Good.
Because, you know...
It only happens in your country. Like, it only happens in your fucking gross bullying culture. Your horrible fucking country has these fucking shootings and then acts like it's like, oh, how do we deal with it? We can't do anything about this.
Well, if we hadn't ensured we were going to get a new round of extremely defensive tweets, you probably did just then by saying it was a gross, horrible country.
No, it's... The sad thing is, I really fucking love the States. Most of the fun stuff that I enjoy is produced in the States. It's just one of those, it's a land of contrast, where for every fucking spectacularly cool thing it does, it just has the baffling flip side. And as with most things, tragically, if there's someone standing calmly talking, the screaming lunatic gets the attention. So it's easy to get, like, you know, distracted.
You know what I think the problem is? It's a problem Australia has to a degree.
Australia's getting it. It's really annoying.
It's when your country is composed of many, many isolated communities separated by very long expanses of nothing. Because you tend to have this sort of, you know...
tribe.
Yeah, this tribe mentality, where people say, our little town all hate niggers. So, yeah.
That's
probably a bad example.
We're a representation. Well, in Australia, it's coons. They hate coons.
Yeah, that's probably why we have such horrible governance, because all them flyover states keep voting stuff in. Although I guess it's less of a problem in Australia than it is in the US, because most of Australia's population is packed along the coast.
And we have a preferential voting system.
The only parts of the country where you can live.
The Westminster system's significantly different to the States in a lot of important respects, such as now. Where
God save the Westminster system. Brits are the best at everything, including governments.
I don't know. Like, again, it's just... You have to really examine what your culture's doing when things like this keep occurring in your country only.
I think the US would really benefit from the Westminster system, and you know why? 3 words. Prime Minister's questions.
Yeah.
They don't do that in the US. Every day in Britain and Australia...
And probably Canada?
And, I don't know. The Prime Minister has to stand up, and all the members of Parliament are allowed to ask questions, and the Prime Minister has to answer them with no prior briefing or preparation. Do you think George W. Bush would have survived in that environment? Mr. My favourite political philosopher is Jesus Christ, Bush.
Okay, was that an actual quote? Because there's a few.
I saw the interview, yes.
Oh, okay.
Someone asked him, it was like a softball question. What is your favourite political philosopher? And he immediately said Jesus Christ. Because he knows his demographic, did old Georgie B.
That's...
Yeah, imagine getting to see your Prime Minister on the spot all the time, every day.
Then you'd get the sublime joy of watching Tony Abbott attempt to answer questions. He does not deal with pressure or hostile questioning.
Oh, did you see that interview where someone asked him a question, he just stood there in silence blinking for 5 minutes?
No, and the best part is Joe Hockey. Joe Hockey is the best minister that the Labour Party ever had. Like, I'm amazed they let him talk to people.
For the benefits of the viewers outside Australia, Joe Hockey isn't actually in the Labour Party.
Yeah, just Google him. And it was almost on him that the Howard government lost power, because the big thing that hurt the Howard government was work choices. The reason work choices got really unpopular, Joe Hockey floundering around on the 7:30 report while Kerry O'Brien stalked him like a fucking orca stalking a seal. It's terrifying to watch Joe Hockey just flub through interviews on the ABC.
I'm not sure stalking works with orcas, because when you say stalking, I picture something ducking behind a tree when they turn around and then...
The thing is, though, like, he wasn't even stalking, like, he wasn't hiding. He was just looking directly at him and coming at him with these fucking questions. And Joe is not good under those circumstances. And he made work choices look really bad, and that got harped on really hectically going into the election the 2007 election. I mean, it wasn't the only thing, obviously. Australia just tends to give people a go for a little while and then get rid of them. I mean, that's essentially been Queensland for the past 60 years. We just have one party in for like 10 or 15 years, then give the other lot a shot. My problem is, like, fucking... His approval rating went from, like, enough to get properly elected to, like, bugfuck squat so quickly that it makes me wonder if anyone who voted for him really paid that much attention.
I got Christy Berg stuck in my head. A spaceman came traveling on his ship from afar.
Sing What's Up. Do it. Before we do these, Yahtzee does vocal warm-ups, and lately he's taken to singing What's Up by Four Non-Blondes, which...
I'm just using this to torment you because I'm never going to do this on air.
Huh?
I'm never going to do that on air. I just use it so you can look like a fool in front of the internet. I'll sing lots of
That's an opinion base I concerns me on a regular basis.
Because you're all like, oh, he does Four Non-Blondes. Listen, Yahtzee. And I'm going, I don't know what you're talking about,
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
And it's great.
I'm going to be like the frog in that one cartoon.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Yeah.
Hello, my ragtime girl. And that one amazing end of Spaceballs bit.
Just won't perform in public.
Would you really? I mean, would a frog that did that earn that much? I suppose it would. Don't be silly.
It's a frog.
Yeah.
That sings.
Sings and dances. I'm just like, how much money does that have in it really? And then it's just like, well, I suppose some guy who had a handsome mugshot's got like a film deal or something now.
Well, there was that talking seal in America that became famous.
Does not ring a bell.
It was on QI one time. There was this seal that made noises that sounded uncannily like human speech. I think his name was Bosco. Bosco the talking seal.
I love that you can actually get lost at sea.
Yeah.
It's been quite nice.
Well,
unless a boat lurches up.
I'm not loving it that much.
You chose the game.
I don't know where the island is anymore. I was hoping that taking us up to the end of the winter thing would take us up to the end of the hour.
Given that you have control over when we go, you should have been checking the time a little closer.
La, la,
Speaking of which, what is the time? We have to have been around. It's got to be 20 minutes.
Yeah, we don't have time.
I love the idea of people listening to this and we're actively saying we're just talking about nothing. Just blah, 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 blah.
Well, this is why I'm introducing the Q&A concept.
Q&A. That's great.
So
yeah,
ask
let's
questions,
engage.
and we'll sort through the no doubt massive amounts of chaff to find the small amount of interesting questions that we want to answer.
You can pick the interesting ones. I'm picking the chaff. I found the chaff fascinating.
Well, chaff away, you big fat chaff jockey. Good night, everyone.
Nap time.
Ask us questions in the comments, and don't try to convince us on guns.
Tweet to Yahtzee about the guns. That'll be a good laugh.
Don't tweet to me about the guns. It makes me feel threatened.
The guns and again, how can they threaten you?
That was all.
You'd have to Skype with one guy for starters.
Well, they certainly seem threatened.
I know, but that's what I mean. You have power over them. They have no power over you.
Why do they get so defensive? Oh, wait, that's the point. Home defense joke. Good night. I'm not even going to shout. I'm just going to say hello to the morning breeze. But anyway, yes. So
yeah, we had a semantic difference which resulted in what I want to call anger, but didn't really at the time recognize it as such.
Right. You were being a dick then.
You express anger like I imagine someone in a Barney costume does. Like it just came through this weird layer of like repression, and I don't understand like really getting that angry about fucking anything.
I just hate when I feel like you're talking down to me, man.
You do that to me all the time, and I don't react, and that's what gets you. I've seen you do. You always try to. Well, and that's again from when you do it to rile me up to get my energy up at the start of a record, which he does. Like you don't hear the things. You'll just come and just like you'll just start nitpicking me.
I found a thing.
Huh. Actually, I'm kind of. This is a little interesting. Like, I'm not gonna say gripping, but I like the idea of wandering around and then you just stumble across like artifacts of perhaps a lost culture or something.
And yet, you didn't play Minecraft much.
Well, that was user generated, wasn't it?
Well, so is this.
Wait, so.
Well, it's randomly generated, but I think there's always the circle of things and a couple of other features.
Oh, so it's completely randomly.
Yeah, the island's randomly generated.
Oh, that's a little less interesting. I was kind of hoping there'd be sort of a set.
Yeah, I don't see what your problem is with proc gen, man.
Well, I mean, I again, if you like it, it's great. I don't mind it in certain circumstances. I like the ability to feel like I've explored everything.
I'm going to stand next to this thing and watch the sun go down. I'm going to give it a name.
Berthold?
Charles.
We'll hyphenate it.
Look, Charles. It's the sun.
Can you walk through it? Is there clipping? What's the...
Yeah, there's clipping.
Right.
Clipping ahoy. Although you can walk up pretty much every slope and across water.
You can't fly, sort of, you can't just levitate?
Nope.
Alright.
I can walk a boot. Hello, it's Yahtzee here, and this is my best pal.
Shitty McFucknugget.
And we're
Are you
playing...
able to walk on the water?
Yes,
Okay.
because we're playing Proteus, which is an arty game. So arty, they forgot to put a game in it, but here it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna regret this, but what do you do in this?
You walk around the island and go, ooh, isn't it arty? I feel so fulfilled and calm. And I thought we needed something calm after we got on each other's nerves a bit last week.
Well, see, I wouldn't even refer to it as that. I mean, I wasn't angry, and
Well, you
your
were...
version of anger sounds like a, you know, sort of grumpy drill sergeant from a children's panto.
Well, I did get a bit exasperated at you,
That's a funny sound you make when you get exasperated.
because you were treating me like an idiot for disagreeing with you.
Yeah, but see, you do that whenever... Before we sit down and start these records, Yahtzee will usually just start haranguing me.
Well, I'm trying to get your energy out.
Yeah, see,
man.
this is what I mean. And you have to understand then, it blurs the line between... I can't tell whether you're actually responding to something or whether you're just trying to get a rise out of me for the sake of chuckles.
I'm not trying to get a rise. Look how calm I am. Oh, look at that tree. It's so retro looking, and doesn't it make you feel so calm and nostalgic?
This and Oculus Rift with some, like, mellow, not hydro, would probably be a fun way to spend the afternoon.
There's some mellow music you might not be hearing so well.
No, I can hear it. Okay, so what... Is this literally it? Like, you just walk around? Like,
Well,
can you
there's
interact with
a little-
anything?
Well, there's a little bit more to it, as
Okay,
we
then.
might discover as time goes on.
I figured there had to be...
Mostly
a
it's
thing.
just being calm and calm.
You're not picking up anything, you don't interact, there's no cursor.
Well, sometimes you run into, like, animals. Not around here, though.
I get the feeling like you're holding something back. Like, there is a thing, but you're sort of waiting until we discover it.
Well, you might be right, but it'll take a while.
Alright, cool. No, that's okay, provided I know that... And it's happened a bit before. People have just on Twitter have just, like, started sounding off me, what do I think? Like, my opinion's massively relevant to what they're talking about. I don't want to talk with authority about things...
Maybe they don't want an authoritative voice. Maybe they don't want some grand objective
No,
perspective.
people have.
Maybe they just want an insight into you.
And you do that. You also, you get by on authority. That's what popular critics do. You have to have a sense of authority. You have to have a reason why your opinion is more important than just any other random opinion.
I'd say an authority, when you say authority, a critic is still only an authority ultimately on his own opinion.
I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like, come on, dude, people gave you fucking hate mail for the way you reviewed the last Smash Brothers game.
Well, yeah, because...
because again, does your opinion hurt their ability to enjoy the game?
I like to think maybe I was speaking to some repressed instinct they were trying to ignore.
But see, this is my problem. So I will talk with authority about shit I feel I can have authority on, but on the extremely subjective matters like this, then, you know, I get a little bit less content about it.
I just didn't get why, because this goes
Because it was
back...
a semantic fucking... We had this conversation before we sat down.
This goes back to our Final Fight video when I asked you for a Game of the Year nomination. I didn't get why you'd say anything other than what your favourite game was, because that was what I wanted.
Well, yeah, see, they're different things to me.
Okay.
That's the thing.
You said Tomb Raider, and I took that to mean that Tomb Raider was the best game.
Oh, Jesus shit, no.
Okay.
See, that's again, you've just demonstrated that. Like,
I think if most...
The best game as opposed to my favorite game. You just did exactly what I've been worrying about.
For me, it's a clarity of communication thing. If most people go to someone and say, what would you say was Game of the Year? I would say most of them would take the answer as a recommendation. So I think just to avoid confusion...
I think the internet's built toward hostility these days, though. Like, websites will deliberately...
I think you're just getting what you put into it, man.
Oh, dude, come on. Websites don't put up, like, here's our Game of the Year to get, like, conversation and clicks.
Oh, I was almost getting riled a bit there, but look how calm I am now. So I'm going to climb to the top of that hill, and not...
There's something coming, because otherwise it's going to start, like, just confusing me. I mean, it is.
Well, don't be confused and be calm. Don't be confused, be calm, man. Look how calm we all are.
No, but it's like, you know when someone starts telling one of those long jokes that you know is just a shaggy dog, and you're kind of just like, alright, I know where this is going. It's a bit like that. Like, when I know that there's a trick or something, I'm just like, alright, look, I get it. You don't have to do the build-up.
Yeah, speaking of last week, there were a lot of comments on that video.
I'm glad I don't read them anymore.
They were pretty divided down the middle. Some people were saying I should have punched you in your fat face. Actually, that made me laugh. I got a tweet from someone that I think he posted the first tweet after we'd watched like the first half of the video. He said to me, Yahtzee, why do you always cut off Gabriel? Why don't you let him finish what he's saying? And then there was a second tweet, which presumably had been posted after we'd watched the rest of the video, which said, never mind, interrupt him as much as you like.
To random internet person I don't care about.
Because we had a basic falling out over the fact that I don't think it's possible to objectively say what a game of the year is, and
Okay.
Gabriel takes an opposite view.
No, I don't. See, the problem is Yahtzee does this thing where will use like sort of extremely literal interpretations of words as opposed to more context-sensitive interpretations of words. Like, to give you a textbook example of this, one time we were discussing areas of study, and I was talking about how, like, I'm doing sort of education and history and English, but it was hard for me because I find everything interesting. Yahtzee took this to mean that I mean everything as in literally everything, and then proceeded to point to a point on the wall.
An animal.
That's an animal? Oh, alright, yeah, that's an animal.
Look, they're bouncing. Look how calm we are. Oh, they're frolicking. It's springtime. Oh, go.
Does this cost money, this game?
Be free, my friends, be free.
Can you chase one into the water?
Well, let's see. Be free in this water. Okay, he's the ultimate freedom now. Godspeed.
Yeah, so my problem is, I don't want people... I think, like...
But anyway, now that we're such good chums again, let's move on. There are times when you annoy me. Well, there was another thing I wanted to air, actually, if you're willing. A couple of weeks back, we were talking about 6-string samurai, and I said I didn't like the editing.
Yeah.
And you immediately started mansplaining, saying, yeah, I need you to understand it was supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
And that annoyed me a little bit, because I felt like you were talking down to me there. You assumed I didn't understand.
No, do you watch a lot of cult cinema?
I watch films. I'm entitled to an opinion.
I'm not saying you don't have an opinion. I'm just saying, like...
It was just the words you used. You didn't say, my opinion is. You didn't say, I think it's supposed to be like that. You were saying, I need you to understand that. I thought that was...
Well, no, because it does shape... It'd be like someone coming to Resident Evil 4 and complaining that Leon can't walk and shoot at the same time and saying that that ruins the game. Like, not to that degree, obviously. I don't think it's an invalid thing to not like it. I just think that to think of that as a deficiency of that specific movie is mistaken.
Well, it got in the way of my enjoyment of the film.
Right. Yeah, and that's a valid personal opinion, but to extrapolate from that it was a fault.
It was not...
And like a sort of, a fault with the film, I don't think is...
Well, it wasn't so much that as the way you were mansplaining about it.
Why do you keep saying mansplaining?
Because it's the perfect word. It's like assuming that someone thinks something because they haven't thought it through properly, so you just have to explain it to them harder.
Well, we just went through this. You don't watch... Do you watch a lot of cult cinema?
I watch cinema.
All right, see, that's... Now you're like man-voiding the question.
I think we're getting away from the man purpose of these videos.
Mantastic.
Let's go to a man topic.
Mantacular.
Actually,
Pac-Man?
Something weird's happening. Do you see those?
Clouds?
See those lights?
Are you getting clouds?
No, the little lights moving along the ground.
Oh. Ah!